Do you struggle restraining yourself from having naughty food and would like to be able to resist it easily and effortlessly? Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, my name is Joey Bull and I am a fitness professional and I do these videos on well-being. In this video, I'm going to give you some tips and ideas so that you can automatically choose healthy food and just put aside the stuff that's junk and doesn't serve you. So let's get on with it. So if you're watching this video, it's likely that you have a tendency to just reach out and grab a treat without even thinking about it. Or worse than that, thinking about it way too much and then feeling bad that you've had it. Now you might feel bad simply because it didn't make you feel great, or it could be that you've disappointed yourself because you couldn't abstain. But it's only a treat, right? So you let it go until things start to catch up with you. A little bit of fatigue, poor skin, less motivated, not feeling so good. Why do I feel like this? This is when you realize that that treat or thing you were doing has now become a habit and it's not a treat anymore. In fact, it's become part of your day and it's not making you feel any better past a few minutes. So here are a few practical tips that you can be getting on with that's really going to help you, and then I'm going to give you more information that, combined with the two approaches together, really ups your chances of resisting bad food. Firstly, you need to be intentional. By that I mean almost have a rota of how many days you're going to be reasonably strict for, and then which days you're going to be more relaxed about. Say it could be a good Monday to Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday's a little more relaxed. The start of an optimum amount of time to be without cravings from sugar and carbs and those kind of addictive foods is 10 days. So you could kick off with a good 10-day promise of no sugars and no carbs and no junk foods, and then go on to a more moderate behaviour. Be intentional when you buy the shopping, so know exactly where you're going through the supermarket and into those aisles so that you don't get deviated into the ones on special offers for patisseries. Then at home, lay out all that nutritional food, fill up that fruit bowl with all those beautiful colours that fruit offers you, and then think of your taste buds too. Have pickles, taste sour, taste astringent, taste pungent foods, satisfy those taste buds. We are a household of 9 and I've noticed there's a bit of anxiety going on, a need to have your fair share, whether you fancy it or not. That varies from food to screen time to possessions and duties. Given that this is a large group, there are different needs and fixes that each individual will be mildly, actively or subconsciously chasing. Now, admittedly, a group environment is great for a reset, going on a diet together, having a focus, team, yes, let's do this together, limping to the next goalpost and then celebrating the achievements. But for that, you need a group and willing members that share the vision. So how can you do this on your own? The first thing is catch yourself before you've left that chair and made your way to the fridge and ask yourself, why do I want this? The first response might be, well, I'm just hungry. The second might be, I just do. But just go a little bit further and ask yourself, what am I trying to fix here? Either way, it will be to change your state, to feel better, to feel different from how you are now. But quite quickly after that fix, you don't feel better. In fact, it's just been a mindless scoff for a bit of a high, followed by a bit of a crash and brain fog. There are 8 emotional circuits in the body, and each one of those is linked to hormones, which is released when those emotional needs are met. If we don't meet those needs healthily, we find substitutes that will give us a hit, and it goes without saying that those substitutes soon become quite addictive. For instance, you might be wanting to achieve, strive, find adventure, and seek a dopamine release. Or it might simply be that you want connection and care, but either way, we leapfrog the true need that we're seeking and go for a hit, totally unconsciously and instantly. Give yourself just enough time to work out what it is you really seek before you have that reflex and have that go-to substitute. This stalling and awareness is a huge step into understanding and now managing that desire to devour all things naughty. So you've thought it through, albeit over 1 second. Now what? So how do you actually stop that override all rational behavior now pattern and actually access the part of your brain that is more wise and more on side with you? About 10 years ago, a friend introduced me to a technique that he would use on victims in war zones. It was readily available, very effective for turning trauma into something more manageable. It was Roger Callahan who founded the technique and wrote the book Thought Field Therapy, and it's simply about tapping on meridians, pathways that circuit through your body. Now, although there hasn't been the same research put into it that there has been, for instance, with acupuncture, those who work with it don't need a double-blinded controlled study to realize how effective and the value it has for pain, trauma, and anything else that can stem from that. Personally, I've used it for trauma, but trauma is hard to measure. It's something you just feel better after doing this technique. But when it's used for anxiety or self-control, the efficacy and the results are there straight away. I know there's a difference between the biscuit tin and trauma, but emotional responses that lead to patterns of behavior can really hijack our lives. So how does tapping work? Well, when you tap on the meridians or pathways, this sends a calming message to the amygdala, which is our library of emotions and associations. This is where we store scary stimuli, and it's pretty knee-jerk basic behavior that doesn't always serve us, and it's stimulated from anxiety, stress, and pain. So effectively, we can soothe ourselves out of this mindset and pretty much jump the amygdala response and get the frontal cortex to be the one that takes the more rational and more cognitive function for us. And this induces the system into a sense of safety and security. And no, I'm not going off on one, and yes, this can help the cookie monsters. It's easy, cheap, and you can do it right now. But first, acknowledge what it is that you want to manage. Now, for the purpose of the video, it's going to be sugar cakes. Ask yourself what scale you're on, how badly you want it, maybe 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, and then say out loud, yes, out loud to yourself, I recognize that this is anxiety and stress, and I'm ready to relax now. Then bring to mind the negative, the uncontrollable desires that you might have for cake or coffee or alcohol, whatever it is, and start the tapping sequence. Side of the hand, 7 or 8 times. Start of the eyebrow. The bone around the side of the eyes here. The bone beneath. Middle of the lip. The chin. The collarbone. Under the arm here. On top of the head. All the time keeping the nagging problem present. Now ask yourself, how much do I need that cake or sugar or whatever it was you wanted compared to before? That's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope what I've been through will help you resist bad foods now and in the future. If you did like the video, please leave a like. And if you'd like to subscribe to my channel, please do, as I upload every week.